You already have a spiritual bank account, and it is overflowing. Not someday, not if you earn it, not if you pray long enough or try hard enough, it is already full. Right now. In divine mind, your account has never dipped below abundance. But the reason you haven't withdrawn from it is not because it's not real. It's because you've never been taught how to speak to it. You keep checking your outer balance, but what about your belief balance? You refresh the numbers on your banking app with dread or worry, but when was the last time you refreshed your faith, reactivated your word, renewed your vision of supply? I say to you now, stop looking at the outer screen and start speaking from the inner storehouse. Because your wealth is not out there, your wealth is in the word you speak. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Man must prepare for the thing he has asked for, though he does not see it." That means your supply appears when your speech aligns with it. You don't prepare with anxiety. You prepare with decree. You prepare by walking, speaking, dressing, spending, and expecting as if your supply were already visible. Because in truth, it is. You are not broke. You are not blocked. You are simply silent where you should be declaring. Your magic bank account is not a metaphor. It is the metaphysical reality of your financial life. And every time you speak truth, you make a deposit. Every time you affirm overflow, you withdraw it. The word is your access. The word is your divine debit card. And today, we activate it. Hear me now. This is not imagination. This is not fantasy. This is law. And the law works for whoever works it. I do not teach you to dream. I teach you to declare. I do not ask you to visualize. I ask you to speak, because it is the word that moves supply. It is the word that signals divine mind to deliver. You will not earn your next deposit. You will speak it, and it will come, not from the place you expect, not from logic, but from law. So speak this now. I do not wait for deposits. I make them with my word. I do not chase increase. I align with spiritual law. My magic bank account is full. Funds are flowing now. Say it again, not like a chant, but like a decree. You are no longer operating from fear. You are operating from frequency. From today forward, every time you speak truth about your wealth, you are adding compound interest to your supply. Every word of lack is an overdraft. Every word of faith is a supernatural deposit. This is the new economy. This is the invisible vault. This is the law of divine compensation in motion, and it responds not to your effort, but to your utterance. There is a realm that never runs dry, a storehouse that does not deplete, a treasury that cannot be locked, stolen from, or delayed. This realm is called divine supply, and it is your source, not your job, not the economy, not your background, not your talent, not your education. Divine supply is the invisible reservoir of all wealth, all provision, all support, and it belongs to you by spiritual inheritance. The magic bank account is not fantasy, my dear. It is spiritual law in motion, and you are not waiting for it to open. It was open before you were born. It has been waiting on you. Most people think they receive money because they earn it. They think income is the result of action. But I say to you now, money is not earned, it is revealed. It appears where the word has been spoken in faith. Florence Scovel Shinn taught this plainly. Man receives only that which he sees himself receiving. And what you see is not with your eyes, it is with your consciousness. What you allow yourself to imagine, affirm, and declare is what you will experience. The magic bank account is not in the clouds, it is in the conscious field that surrounds you. Every thought of fear is a closed door. Every word of faith is an open vault. Let us define it clearly. The magic bank account is your spiritual account with the infinite. It is always full. Its balance is not determined by numbers, but by your alignment. Every time you speak with conviction that you are supplied, that you are rich in substance, that you are open to receive, you are tapping into that divine current. You are not pulling from your job. You are not pulling from the market. You are pulling from source, and source does not run out. Say this with me. My supply is not limited. My account is always full. I receive from the infinite storehouse of good. When you align with this truth, the how becomes irrelevant. Money may come through a client, a check, a gift, a raise, but none of these are your source. They are just channels. God is the source. Infinite intelligence is the supply. Your belief, your word, and your alignment are the activators. There is nothing missing. There is only misalignment, and that ends today. Say it again. The magic bank account is not fantasy. It is my reality in divine mind, and I speak now as one who draws from it daily. This is not about wishing. This is not about pretending. This is about stepping into law. The same law that governs gravity governs your provision. And when you speak in truth, the universe does not delay. It delivers, because the storehouse of divine supply is already full. The question is not, can it come? The question is, will you receive it? And if you say yes, then let your word prove it. Now that you know the magic bank account is real, the next question is this. How do you access it? How do you make the invisible visible? How do you draw from that divine account when the outer world seems to say you're overdrawn? The answer is not in effort. The answer is not in hustle. The answer is not in spreadsheets or panic or performance. The answer is in the Word. And I tell you, the Word is your access card, your key, your spiritual password to the vault of unlimited wealth. Without the Word, you cannot withdraw, not because the account is closed, but because you haven't identified yourself to divine law. The Word is your identity check. It is the proof of your alignment. It is the tone that says, I remember who I am. You cannot receive from a realm you do not recognize. You cannot withdraw from an account you do not believe exists. But when you speak from truth, from trust, from alignment, you open the vault. You activate the flow. Not because you've convinced God to give, but because you've come into agreement with what already is. You don't need to earn what's yours. You only need to align with it. And alignment comes through language. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Your word is your wand." She meant it literally. The words you speak carve the path of your experience. They imprint the subconscious, which in turn moves the very atoms of your world into new arrangement. Every phrase is a deposit or a withdrawal. Every statement of faith fills the account. Every complaint empties it. You are never speaking into air. You are always speaking into law. So speak like one who knows the system. Speak like one who remembers the formula. Speak like one who understands the law. Say it now as if your life depends on it, because your vibration already does. I access my divine supply with my word. I do not beg, I declare. I do not wait, I align. The vault of heaven is open to me, and I receive now. Do you hear it? Do you feel it? The vault isn't opening, it's responding. And when you speak this way daily, when you form a ritual of divine access, your outer reality must rearrange. Not slowly, not maybe. By law. Let me give you the picture. Imagine walking into a grand marble hall, golden light, celestial silence, and at the end of that corridor, a massive golden vault. There's no number pad, no lock, no fingerprint scanner, just a single phrase above it, glowing in light. Speak the word. You walk to the vault, you take a breath, and you say, My spiritual bank account is always full. I receive from the infinite now. And the doors do not creak, they swing. They don't resist, they welcome. Because the word has been spoken, and what is yours rushes to you. So speak, not like one trying to be rich. Speak like one who already is. Speak it again. The word is my key. I withdraw from divine supply now. What is mine appears without delay. This is how you access it. Not through effort, but through declaration. Not by forcing, but by aligning. And the alignment begins with your voice. The greatest overdraft in your life is not in your bank account, it is in your thinking. It is not the dollars you lack, but the beliefs you've agreed with. You say, I can't afford it. You say, that's too expensive. You say, there's never enough. And every time you speak those phrases, you are issuing metaphysical commands to the law. The law does not question, it does not doubt, it does not debate, it obeys. You say, I'm broke, and the law says, yes. You say, I'm always waiting for money, and the law says, granted, not because the law is cruel, but because it is neutral. It mirrors your inner speech with divine precision. Your words are checks, some bounce, some clear. And the only difference between them is whether you spoke from lack or law. Florence Scovel Shinn taught, if man asks for success and prepares for failure, he will get the situation he has prepared for. Your language is preparation. Your speech is proof of what you expect. So what are you expecting? Are you living like someone with a magic bank account? Or are you walking through life like a spiritual pauper, hoping something might change, afraid to check your balance, shrinking back from the cashier, hesitating when the bill arrives? These habits aren't just actions, they are affirmations. They declare to your subconscious, I am not safe, I am not supported, I am not supplied. And the law responds accordingly. But now we break that loop, now we clear the overdraft, now we declare a new mental ledger, one that reflects truth, not appearances. Because appearances lie, but the law never does. Your outer world is delayed evidence. Your inner word is the seed. So let us uproot every false phrase that has kept you small. Say this with me. I erase the language of lack. I no longer speak overdraft into my reality. I refuse to declare debt. I declare divine wealth. You must now become the one who does not agree with scarcity. Even when the bills stack, even when the numbers shrink, even when fear whispers, you must speak a higher language, a dialect of dominion. Your mouth must become a sacred vault, releasing only truth. Your tongue must become a spiritual pen, writing only increase. So replace the old now. Out loud, old phrase, I can't afford that. New truth, God is my supply and my account is full. Old phrase, I'm just trying to get by. New truth, I am divinely supported, always in surplus. Old phrase, there's never enough. New truth, I live in an abundant universe where my needs are met before I speak them. Feel it shift, feel the air change, feel the atmosphere respond, because it does. Your world is listening. Your bank account is not empty. It is obedient. It reflects the tone of your expectation. So expect well, speak well, and receive accordingly. Doubt is the shadow that clouds your spiritual account. It is not born from truth. It is inherited from the world. The world says, seeing is believing, but spiritual law says, believing is seeing. And this is where most people fall short. They say the words, but they do not believe the invisible supply is real. They speak the affirmation, but their heart is still anchored in appearances. They want the divine account to show up on a screen before they trust it. But spiritual deposits do not first appear in numbers. They appear in alignment. And until your trust matches your declaration, your account remains blocked, not by law, but by inner contradiction. Florence Scovel Shinn said, faith is expectancy. And the verse echoes it. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. The invisible is not fantasy, it is the source. Every dollar you've ever received had a spiritual origin before it took physical form. The job, the client, the refund, the unexpected gift, all of them were the outer delivery of an inner vibration. You were not lucky. You were momentarily aligned. But if you wait for proof to believe, you will always be too late. Belief is not the result of evidence, it is the cause. You do not access the magic bank account by begging for results. You access it by declaring what already is. You must train yourself to treat the invisible as more real than the visible. You must trust the law more than the numbers, because the law does not lie. The law does not tease. The law delivers exactly what your consciousness is calibrated to receive. So how do we eliminate doubt? By repetition, by rhythm, by reprogramming. You cannot erase a thought once, but you can override it daily. You must say, even though I can't see it, I know it is there. You must say, even when my wallet is thin, my supply is full. You must speak these words until the outer world has no choice but to submit. Say this now. I trust what I cannot yet see. I speak the invisible into form. My belief is the bridge to my abundance. My supply is unseen but unfailing. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are living inside one. The only thing that blocks it is your inner resistance to the unseen. But the moment you call it real, it begins to form. So speak again. Say it like a withdrawal. I believe in divine supply more than appearances. I no longer look to man. I look to law. I receive now, not later, not someday, now. The invisible is not far away. It is one word away, one thought away, one alignment away. And the law is ready to deliver. You are not trying to become wealthy. You are not trying to manifest prosperity. You are not climbing toward abundance like a hill. You are standing in it, right now. The only thing that must shift is your identity. Because what you have in the outer world is a mirror of what you believe yourself to be. You cannot receive wealth while seeing yourself as broken. You cannot hold divine provision while identifying as a beggar. You must become the one who already has, the one who already is, and the law will respond, not with delay, but with evidence. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Man's thoughts, deeds, and words return to him sooner or later with astounding accuracy. Your words about yourself are not casual. They are creative. They form the shape of your field, and your field becomes your finances. If you say, 'I'm trying to be wealthy,' then wealth will always remain a chase. If you say, 'I'm not there yet,' then there will never arrive. But if you stand now in this moment and declare, 'I am wealthy by divine law,' then the law must align with your tone. So let us now repattern the self, not the ego, but the divine self who knows, receives, holds, and circulates money without fear, without apology, without confusion. Say it aloud, not as affirmation, but as identity. I am wealthy by divine law. This is not positive thinking. It is a declaration of spiritual fact. The law has already written this into your blueprint. I am a magnet for divine supply. You do not chase money. You do not earn provision. You attract what is aligned to your vibration. I carry the vibration of overflow. Not just sometimes, not when conditions are perfect, but daily, rhythmically, unshakably. I am the evidence of divine abundance. Your very presence is wealth. Your energy is currency. Your identity is your supply. Now take a breath. Let the words settle. Let them imprint, because every declaration you speak from identity penetrates deeper than wishful thought. It reaches the subconscious, rewrites the energetic blueprint, and sends new instructions to every atom in your reality. Say it again, this time with rhythm. I am wealthy by divine law. I am a magnet for divine supply. I carry the vibration of overflow. I am the evidence of divine abundance. This is who you are now, not later, not once your income changes. Now, because the law moves when identity shifts. And yours just did. Your bank account is not the source of your wealth. It is the reflection of your vibration. It is a spiritual photograph, capturing the shape of your belief, your expectation, and your word. If your balance feels small, it is not because the universe has failed you. It is because you have not yet spoken to your account as one who owns the vault. You must stop whispering fear into your finances. You must stop rehearsing insufficiency every time you check your balance. You must stop calling the account empty. It is not your job to predict the number, it is your calling to command the field. Because what you affirm about your money is what becomes true of your money. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "Man must make the first move. Draw nigh to God, and God will draw nigh to you. So too you must draw nigh to your wealth, not through grasping, but through language. When you say, 'My magic bank account is full,' you are not pretending. You are aligning. You are treating the account not as a fragile container, but as a divine wellspring. The money may not be visible in that moment, but the substance of supply is already responding, and soon it will take the form of numbers. But even if the digits haven't yet changed, your frequency has, and that is the true deposit. Let us now speak to your account, not with fear, not with calculation, but with sacred confidence. Say aloud, 'My magic bank account is full, and funds are flowing.' Not partial, not waiting, full. Because divine mind does not operate in fractions. It gives in overflowing measure. Large sums of money come to me under grace, not through pressure, not through panic. Under grace, meaning easily, peacefully, divinely orchestrated. My spiritual account is never empty. I speak deposits now. This is the truth that overrides the appearance. It is not denial of the outer. It is a higher decree that reshapes it. Now repeat them in sequence, slowly, rhythmically, as if your voice is writing them onto the walls of your subconscious. My magic bank account is full, and funds are flowing. Large sums of money come to me under grace. My spiritual account is never empty. I speak deposits now. Feel how each phrase shifts the atmosphere. Feel the inner resistance dissolve. Your body may remember lack, but your spirit remembers truth, and your spirit is in charge now. When you speak like this, you create a field around your finances that no condition can penetrate. You raise the thermostat of your bank account. You build an energetic savings plan that draws in favor, opportunity, divine timing, and unexpected increase. Do not say these words once. Say them every day. Say them while checking your balance. Say them when you pay your bills. Say them when you spend, give, or receive. Let every financial action be covered in truth, because your account is no longer just a number. It is now a declaration in motion. She was not unlike you, a woman who had tried, stretched, calculated, and fought to keep herself afloat. She had read the books, made the spreadsheets, taken the courses, but somehow the numbers never stayed. The income came and vanished like vapor. Her bank account felt cursed, as though it emptied itself the moment it was filled. Each morning, she woke up with anxiety in her chest, not because she was lazy, not because she was irresponsible, but because she was running her financial life from fear instead of from law. She was depositing her energy into worry and wondering why her real account never grew. Until one day she found a line from Florence Scovel Shinn, just one. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't complex, but it struck her like lightning. Infinite Spirit opens the way for my immediate supply. I do not resist. I receive. She spoke it once, then again, then every morning. She stopped speaking overdraft. She stopped rehearsing anxiety. She stopped looking at her balance before she blessed her field. And something began to shift, not in the numbers first, but in her energy. She felt calm, supported, strangely expectant, as if something had been reordered in the invisible. And then it began. A check in the mail. A client she thought had vanished returned with double payment. A refund she didn't expect appeared in her inbox, and the numbers in her account began to reflect something different, not just gain, but grace. She called it magic. But it wasn't magic. It was metaphysical order returning to her finances. She had finally reversed the spell she'd been under, the spell of fear, of not enough, of silence where there should have been decree. She realized she didn't need another raise. She didn't need a financial savior. She needed a new rhythm of speech. She continued, "Infinite spirit fills my account now. I am supported by law, not by luck. I give thanks that large sums of money are now mine, quickly, easily, and under grace." And from that moment forward, her account became a testimony, not just to money, but to spiritual precision. She proved what I tell you now. The word you speak over your money determines the pattern your money takes. Her breakthrough did not begin with a transaction. It began with a truth. And yours will too. Money is not meant to be hoarded, feared, or clutched with trembling hands. It is not static. It is not stagnant. It is not a thing to be trapped or held in isolation. Money is movement. Money is energy. Money is a stream that flows through consciousness, not just to you, but through you. And the moment you try to dam that flow with fear, the waters slow, the supply clogs, and the channel collapses under its own tension. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Man must live in the expectancy of his good." And expectancy is shown not just by how you receive, but by how you release. Because faith doesn't just speak, it circulates. Some believe that the secret to wealth is saving every cent, watching every dollar, and spending nothing. But what you save in fear, you repel. What you give in love, you multiply. I am not speaking against wisdom. I am speaking for alignment. You must give, spend, save, and steward from the vibration of divine supply, not from the fear of not enough. Because when you give in alignment, you don't lose, you activate. When you spend in joy, you don't deplete, you invest. And when you circulate money with reverence, it returns to you in ways no calculator could predict. Say this with me now. When I circulate money, it returns multiplied. I spend with confidence, not fear. I give with joy, not guilt. I receive with gratitude, not resistance. You must understand this. Money is like water. It becomes toxic when it's trapped, but it nourishes everything when it's moving. The law of circulation means that what you give out in alignment, you magnetize back with interest. If you tip with joy, the universe tips you back with increase. If you pay a bill with peace, the universe rewards your peace with new provision. But if you give in fear, if you resent your bills, if you resist the flow, you halt the current, and your supply grows stale. Treat every transaction like a ritual. Bless every dollar you release. Say, "This money returns to me multiplied. I give it freely. I receive it joyfully. It flows back to me in perfect timing, perfect ways, perfect form." Do not fear movement. Movement is the sign of wealth. Circulation is the evidence of faith. When you open your hands, the universe can fill them. When you open your accounts with gratitude, the divine ledger responds with overflow. From now on, you are not a hoarder of fear. You are a vessel of abundance. And everything you release, you bless. And everything you bless returns. Bigger, brighter, richer than before. Money is not leaving you. It is returning with friends. Morning is not just the start of your day. It is the opening of your financial field. Before your feet touch the floor, before your fingers swipe the screen, before the world floods your mind with headlines and numbers and schedules, the first vibration you release becomes the tone of your bank account. And I say this with all the authority of divine law. If you begin your day rehearsing fear, you deposit overdraft into your field. But if you begin with truth, spoken rhythmically, boldly, then heaven's ledger responds with deposits too vast to track, too precise to miss. Morning is your spiritual ATM. You must walk into it not as a beggar, but as a banker of belief, issuing orders, not wishes, and directing your reality with word. Florence Scovel Shinn taught, "You must speak the word for your supply. Speak it with faith and conviction. not just when you're desperate, not just when you're panicked, but every morning as law. Because your words in the morning become the structures of your day. You are not reacting to money. You are declaring it. You are not waiting for opportunity. You are announcing it. And the moment you speak with authority, the spiritual system that governs all substance begins rearranging itself to match your tone. So let us set that tone now, not soft, not tentative, but as spiritual decree. Each line is a deposit, each rhythm is a withdrawal. Speak and align. I wake in wealth. Let this be the first sentence of your day, before thoughts of to-do lists or numbers or what you should worry about. Wealth is not what you earn, it's what you speak. My day begins with divine deposits. You are not hoping, you are declaring. The moment your eyes open, unseen channels open with you. Money comes to me as I rest, work, and trust. You are not limited by effort. You are not capped by hours. Your supply flows through rest, through alignment, through faith. I am already paid in full by divine mind. Not when the job lands, not when the client signs, not when the world agrees. You are paid now, in full, in spirit. Now speak them again. Let them rise with your breath. Let your voice be the sound of supply. I wake in wealth. My day begins with divine deposits. Money comes to me as I rest, work, and trust. I am already paid in full by divine mind. This is your new alarm clock. This is your new financial app. This is your new login. These words are the passcode to your daily overflow. Speak them every morning before the world speaks to you. Speak them before doubt gets a chance to whisper. Speak them before your phone loads. Because your bank account doesn't begin with a paycheck. It begins with your word. Night is not a closing. It is a resetting of the field. It is not the end of your wealth. It is the multiplication of it. For while the world sleeps, the law does not. Divine mind never slumbers. Infinite intelligence never stops calculating, delivering, arranging. While your body rests, your word continues to move substance, align channels, open pathways. But what most people do before bed is repeat the same vibration they fought all day to overcome. They climb into sleep, rehearsing fears, budgeting from stress, scrolling through lack. And so they sow seeds of worry and wonder why they reap chaos by dawn. But you are not most people. You are no longer the one who ends the day in reaction. You are now the one who resets the rhythm. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Before you sleep, speak the word." The subconscious does not argue. It accepts. And it is in this sacred hour before rest that you plant what tomorrow will deliver. You don't drift into slumber as a casualty of thought. You speak yourself into wealth. You declare yourself into provision. You direct the law to continue its divine bookkeeping, so that while your eyes are closed, your account expands. Say this now, not in haste, but with reverence. I end this day with thanks for all that flowed. You are no longer blind to the blessings that arrived. Gratitude is compound interest in spiritual currency. My spiritual account compounds while I sleep. You do not need to strive overnight. You are not behind. The law works the night shift. I rise tomorrow into new increase. Declare this as the final word before unconsciousness takes over, because what you expect, you experience. Now again, with sacred rhythm. Let your soul hear what your mind cannot argue. I end this day with thanks for all that flowed. My spiritual account compounds while I sleep. I rise tomorrow into new increase. Let this be your pillow. Let this be your lullaby. You do not fall asleep in fear. You fall asleep in faith. And while you rest, the word you've spoken draws interest. Opportunities gather, payments route, surprises take shape, because the law heard you, and it does not forget. From this night forward, you are not one who wonders what tomorrow brings. You are the one who commands it. And the command is clear. I sleep in abundance, I rise in overflow, I receive as I rest. Your wallet is not just a holder of currency, it is a mirror of consciousness. Your purse, your pockets, your digital accounts, your cash envelope, all of them carry a frequency. And the way you treat them, think about them, speak over them, is a direct transmission to divine mind about what you believe you deserve. If you fear opening your wallet, it fears being filled. If you resent paying bills, your money resents returning. If you handle finances with dread, you impress the law with repulsion, not attraction. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, "Your supply is a visible outpicturing of your words and beliefs. Therefore, you must now sanctify your wallet, consecrate your financial space, anoint your money environment with the truth of divine supply. You may have been taught to hide your cash, to spend with hesitation, to flinch when you swipe your card, but that was never truth, it was conditioning. And today, you declare a new way of holding, using, seeing, and speaking over every dollar you touch. You treat your money as sacred, you treat your receipts with reverence, you treat your payments as prayers, your purchases as prophecy, because what you honor increases, and what you curse flees. Say this now with command. Every dollar I touch is sacred. Every transaction is a vibration of abundance. I do not spend, I circulate with purpose and peace. My wallet is a gateway of divine flow. From now on, you will no longer speak lack as you open your banking app. You will not call your funds low or barely enough or just scraping by. You will not mutter curses under your breath while you pay for what you need. Instead, you will say, "This payment returns to me multiplied. This dollar is not leaving, it's expanding. I bless this money and send it forth with favor." Clean out your wallet, organize your accounts, remove what symbolizes old stories of lack, add symbols of overflow, a note, a declaration, a written affirmation tucked beside your cash. Speak life over your cards. Speak abundance over your balance. Act as if each financial tool is an extension of your spiritual authority. Because it is. The world taught you to fear what you hold. I teach you to declare what it will become. Say it again now. Every dollar I touch is sacred. It multiplies by spiritual law. My money is not just paper. It is power. This is not superstition. This is alignment. This is what happens when form bows to frequency, when the outer follows the inner, when the wallet becomes a holy place. From now on, you don't just carry money. You carry magnetism. If you are only open to wealth through channels you can predict, you have already limited the divine mathematics of your life. The infinite does not work by your paycheck schedule. It does not restrict itself to the logic of your career path or the structure of your contracts. Divine supply delights in variety, in timing, in precision that your mind could not script. And yet, so many shut the vault to these flows because they believe money can only come one way. That is why your affirmations must blow open the channels and instruct the law to send wealth in any form, through any door, by any means, known or unknown. You must tell the law, "I am open to surprise. I am ready for unexpected income. I am positioned for divine deposits that bypass my plans." Florence Scovel Shinn often said that what you expect, you attract. And the beautiful truth is this. The law does not only meet your expectation, it can exceed it. But to exceed it, you must stop capping it. You must declare, "I release the how. I open to the now." That is the posture that makes room for miracles. Say it with conviction. New channels open daily. Not one day, not someday, daily. Every single day holds a divine transaction with your name on it. Surprise money appears constantly. Not just once in a while, not just when things are desperate. Constantly, because the storehouse of good does not have on and off days. I am always being paid by unseen sources. This is the radical truth that breaks the dependency on your one visible channel. You are paid by law, not by labor. Your income is spiritual before it is physical. Let's speak them together, in rhythm, as if we are opening 3 golden vault doors in succession. New channels open daily. Surprise money appears constantly. I am always being paid by unseen sources. Now visualize it: an unexpected check in the mail, an email of a deposit, a gift handed to you, a discount you didn't request, a refund you didn't see coming, an investment paying out early. Do not label it luck. Do not label it random. Call it what it is: evidence that your magic bank account is active, flowing, and obedient to your word. From this moment forward, expect the unexpected. Train your mind to look for it. When you find a coin on the ground, when you get a discount without asking, when a bill arrives smaller than you feared, say aloud, "This is proof of my divine deposits." The more you acknowledge it, the more it multiplies, because gratitude is a magnet and expectancy is the conductor. Your wealth is not waiting for the first of the month. It is looking for an open door, and your word is that door. Wealth is not only a matter of receiving, it is a way of being. It is not a lucky strike, a windfall, or a sudden burst of favor. It is the steady hum of divine order moving through your life, a rhythm of alignment that governs how you earn, how you hold, how you spend, and how you give. When you live in this rhythm, you stop treating money as a visitor and begin treating it as a resident. You no longer chase it, fear it, or cling to it. You become a custodian of abundance, a trusted steward of the law of increase. This is why I say, divine wealth habits are not about discipline in the human sense. They are about demonstrating to divine mind that you can be trusted with the flow you are calling in. Florence Scovel Shinn reminded us that man must be prepared to receive his good. If the storehouse is open but your habits are full of leaks, fearful spending, inconsistent gratitude, neglect of what you have, you will find your blessings pouring through a sieve. But if your habits match your declarations, the law sees a clear vessel ready for overflow. Say this with certainty: I steward my wealth with joy, not with fear, not with tension. With joy, because joy is the vibration that multiplies. I save, give, and receive by divine rhythm. There is no hoarding in divine wealth, but there is also no recklessness. You save as led by spirit. You give as directed by intuition. You receive without guilt or resistance. I am trusted by the law of increase. This is not arrogance, it is agreement. You are declaring that the spiritual law knows you as a wise and faithful keeper of the abundance that flows through you. Now speak them again, slowly so they take root. I steward my wealth with joy. I save, give, and receive by divine rhythm. I am trusted by the law of increase. Begin to see yourself as one who naturally acts in wealth. You pay bills promptly and with gratitude. You keep your wallet and accounts in order. You give when led, knowing that every seed returns multiplied. You receive without shrinking back or apologizing, because you understand that your increase blesses others. From this day forward, you do not live from a scramble, waiting for the next deposit to rescue you. You live from a rhythm, a holy cadence that says, money moves to me, through me, and back to me in perfect order. And because you live in this rhythm, the law of increase does not hesitate. It knows you, trusts you, and floods your field accordingly. You are not hoping to be wealthy. You are proving daily that you already are. Every transformation begins with identity. You cannot patch abundance onto a poverty identity and expect it to hold. You cannot sprinkle affirmations on a foundation of, I am struggling, and expect the structure to stand. If you still see yourself as the one who barely makes it, the one who has to wait for the next paycheck to breathe, the one who is bad with money, then every deposit you call in will eventually slip away. Not because the law is cruel, but because your inner definition will reject what does not match. The moment you are willing to release the old name, the old image, the old story, that is the moment the flow of wealth is no longer a fight. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." This is why identity is the key. You must see yourself as the one who is worthy, capable, and already positioned for divine supply. You must close every account, both literal and energetic, that was opened in fear. The account you opened with statements like, "I'm not enough," "I can't handle money," "I'm unlucky with finances," those must be shut down permanently. So let us do it now. Say aloud with authority, "I now close every account based in fear." See them sealed. See them deleted from the ledger of your life. Now open the only account that matters. I am a spiritual millionaire. Not someday, not after a certain income bracket. Now, because your wealth is not the sum of your possessions, it is the state of your consciousness. And declare the truth of who you are. I am an open channel for unlimited supply. I hold, use, and multiply wealth with divine ease. I am the living proof of spiritual abundance. Repeat them again, not as a wish, but as a coronation. I now close every account based in fear. I am a spiritual millionaire. I am the living proof of spiritual abundance. In this moment, you are no longer trying to build wealth from the outside in. You are radiating it from the inside out. You have ended the old cycle where you played the role of the struggler, the survivor, the one who just gets by. That script is burned. That name is retired. That account is closed. From this moment on, you carry yourself as the custodian of divine riches. You make decisions as one who already has. You speak as one who already is. You move as one who has nothing to prove, only something to steward. And because the law always matches identity, the outer must now obey the truth you've spoken. The rebirth is complete. Close your eyes and enter the vault of divine mind. In this place, there is no ceiling, no walls of limitation, no numbers that run out, no fear of depletion. You stand before a luminous account, a golden ledger with your name inscribed upon it in light. This is your true bank. This is the storehouse that has never known lack, never closed, never paused a deposit. Every resource you will ever need already exists here, already prepared, already yours by divine right. You are not applying for access. You are not waiting for approval. You are the rightful owner of this infinite account, and your word is the signature that releases its wealth. Breathe deeply. See the light around you grow brighter as you speak. My magic bank account is always full. I draw from it with joy, ease, and authority. I receive without fear, for my supply is eternal. Feel the atmosphere shift as if the air itself has weight, like it's charged with gold dust, with the vibration of limitless provision. See yourself approaching the counter of this spiritual bank, but there are no tellers here, only mirrors. The law is showing you that the account is you, and you are the account. Your consciousness is the vault. Your belief is the currency, and your spoken word is the withdrawal slip. Now imagine funds transferring, not from some far-off place, but from the invisible into the visible. See the golden light condense into numbers, checks, payments, gifts, opportunities, streams of income, flowing into every channel you use in the outer world. Your wallet, your accounts, your business, your investments, each one receives without delay. You don't chase, you don't strain. You stand and watch the transfer complete because it is already finished in spirit. Say it again with deeper conviction. I live from supply, not from effort. I withdraw from my spiritual account daily. It is always full, always flowing, always mine. Hold that vision for a moment longer. See the numbers increase. See the messages of payment received, funds deposited, balance updated. Hear the notifications, the ringing of completed transactions. Let your heart swell with gratitude, not because you hope it's coming, but because it has already arrived. When you open your eyes, you do not leave the vault. You carry it with you, everywhere you go. You spend from it. You give from it. You live from it. And because you do, the outer world will now mirror what you have seen. You have visited your magic bank account, and now you live as its rightful heir. Now we seal it. Everything you have spoken, everything you have seen, everything you have claimed must be anchored, not as a passing inspiration, but as an unshakable command. This is where you impress the subconscious so deeply that it cannot revert to the old balance, the old fear, the old habit of measuring your worth by digits on a screen. This is where the magic bank account stops being an idea and becomes the only financial reality you acknowledge. And the way we do this is through rhythm, rapid-fire declarations that leave no room for hesitation, no pause for doubt, no crack for the old story to creep back in. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the game of life is a game of boomerangs. What you speak must return. So speak now as one who is sending out a chain of wealth-filled boomerangs, each one charged with the vibration of abundance, each one destined to return multiplied. Say each line with breath and certainty, feeling the power move through your body like current through a circuit. I am always provided for. This is not a request, this is law. Your provision is perpetual. What I desire is already paid for. Nothing you truly need is beyond your reach because it is already secured in divine mind. My supply is eternal, invisible, and unfailing. The source of your wealth is not the economy, not your employer, not your hustle. It is the infinite. I now live in the wealth I've already spoken. This is the completion of your decree, the shift from declaring to inhabiting. Now again, without pause, as a litany that engraves itself into your field. I am always provided for. What I desire is already paid for. My supply is eternal, invisible, and unfailing. I now live in the wealth I've already spoken. Feel how your voice grows steadier with each round. This is the sound of authority. This is the frequency that rewrites your financial blueprint. You are not trying to believe anymore. You are believing. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. As you carry this sequence into your days, you will notice it echoing in your thoughts before transactions, before opportunities, before any decision about money. It will rise in you like second nature, guiding your actions into alignment with the wealth you have already claimed. And when the evidence arrives, and it will, you will recognize it instantly because you've been living here in spirit long before it showed up in form. This is your final activation. The vault is open, the deposits are constant, the withdrawals are effortless. You are living proof of the magic bank account, and the law, which cannot fail, will keep your balance eternally full. This is not the kind of message you hear once and let fade into the background noise of life. This is not a momentary surge of faith that dissolves when you close the screen. What we have done here is plant a rhythm, a structure, a living current of truth that demands daily agreement. Your magic bank account is always open, always active, but its flow is determined by your willingness to stay in the vibration we have built together. And that means returning, repeating, rehearsing, reinforcing, until your mind, your body, and your atmosphere know no other financial identity but abundance. So here is what I invite you into, not as a subscriber to a channel, but as a co-creator in a living field of wealth. Return to this space daily. Let these words be the soundtrack of your mornings, the seal on your nights, the undercurrent of every transaction you make. Speak them aloud, not in whispers, but in the voice of ownership. Post them where you can see them, on your phone screen, in your wallet, above your desk, so the truth is never out of sight. I ask you to comment, not for vanity, but for agreement. Write your financial identity in words. Declare your new balance in spirit. Share your decree so that it is not only written in your heart, but echoed into the world, witnessed by others who are walking in the same law. This is not just about one person's wealth. It is about a collective of believers speaking the same truth until it becomes the dominant atmosphere in their lives. If you feel the shift today, if your spirit knows something has been opened, say it here, mark this moment, and return to it. Subscribe not as a consumer of content, but as a keeper of the vibration. When you come back tomorrow, next week, or next month, you are not starting over. You are adding interest to the deposits you have already made. And remember this, divine mind does not track time the way you do. Every moment you are in alignment is an instant of compounding. Every time you speak the truth over your bank account, you accelerate the law of increase. The vault is open, the balance is rising, the supply is infinite, and you are in the center of it. Not someday, not soon, but now.